Hey, this is Isel here, and today I'll be doing something a bit different than I usually do. You know that this is usually a Let's Play in China, but today I'm here to talk about poverty and low income in Canada. You may be wondering why I'm doing this. Well, let's just say it's related to school. Game in the background is Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Music's most likely gonna be from Audio Micro, courtesy of RPM. So let's get started. So, poverty and low income is a major issue in Canada. It's becoming worse every year and it's affecting many Canadian citizens, even though some people are claiming it is getting better. And the issue itself, it began well over a decade ago, and well, many things that have been related to the issue has, well, actions have been taken, things have been created, and well, let's look at a few things such as income inequality in Canada. So it's something like called the 99% versus the 1%. So it's like 1%, the richest 1% versus, well, everyone else. So, well, there's a large income gap. So the rich, it's, well, getting richer, the poor is getting poorer. So that's a problem. And well, since the mid 1990s, the income gap has grown faster in Canada than the US. So yeah, it ain't good, I can tell you that much. And not to mention the rich, their income grew by 32% within 1997 to 2007, while in the 1950s to 1960s their income only grew by 8%. The rich are only getting richer, while the poor, they're becoming worse off and they're paying even less tax. I mean, in 1943 they were paying 71% tax, but now it's just, well, 33%. So yeah, I think this is probably caused by a variety of problems, such as related to the economy, the social unrest, the democracy, and corporate Canada in general. Like, some people say there's some sort of economic slowdown that's being prolonged by the governments of not just Canada, but also because of the United States and their, well, actions. Well, or to be more specific, their inaction. I mean, there's Hugh McKenzie, which is a research associate of the CCPA, says that there's, well, there is no political pressure on conservatives to continue large economic growth despite a slow recovery, and that government policies actually working against economic recovery, and that, not to mention, the United States economy is directly connected to well, Canada and us. And well, he says that there needs to be a second stimulus to, like, buy our economy enough time while we wait for, like, the United States economy to fully recover. And that's not to mention social unrest and things, and the corporations are a major problem. The businesses of Canada apparently have a pile of money, according to Armin Yesensi, which is the senior economist of the CCPA. And well, their businesses, they have a huge pile of money since the recession, and that pile just continues to grow and it's not being spent on anything. And while in past recessions, there's been accelerating borrowing, now nothing's being done. And first, she says that business need to start spending their money and on things that will create more jobs. I mean, if mergers and sending jobs to, like, foreign countries only cause more jobs to be lost and only worsen the problem. So I believe things need to be taken to prevent the loss of jobs, maybe like punishing businesses for trying to put their jobs in another country, and rewards them for, like, creating jobs within the country. And there is a few stats from, like, Statistics Canada has like a low income people, and so the people in low income before and after tax has lowered from 2006 to 2010, but the percentage alone as well can be a bit deceiving, because, well, just because you're not in the low income cutoff, you doesn't mean you're not suffering. And well, if the number's lower, it doesn't necessarily mean they're getting any better. Maybe it's just that just because they have a better income, that doesn't mean well maybe they're probably having to spend it more on other things. Like if you have like a family of like a 4, you probably, even if you're probably not in the low income cutoff, but you're still spending a lot of money having just to survive. And it's kind of a debate on whether it's becoming worse or better. There's a CBCA article which can be, I'm gonna link a website in the description that basically talks about poverty. I'm gonna link the article in the description, which you can see. It's by Legendia, and well, talks about the statistics again. And John Richard is mentioned in the article, and he's talking about government actions which he calls tough love. And for example, welfare rules were tightened in the 1990s, and same applied to unemployment insurance. And while he does not say the war is won yet, he does think things are working. But remember the CCPA, the one I talked about before, it's also mentioned in the article, and she argues against John, and says that she does agree that things are looking a bit brighter, but she says the government's action has nothing to do with it. She says it's just a pure coincidence that Canadians got more jobs when the actions were put in place. She says it's also wrong to compare today to the 1990s due to recessions that happened in the decade. I mean, back in the 1980s, the percentage of Canadian citizens under the low income cutoff after tax was just 11.6%. I mean, today is like maybe it's 1.6% lower than that. That's not really a lot. And when you think about it, why is there only so much little than the 1980s, even though there's better education and technology today? Probably means that more jobs are going to other countries, and well, less jobs in Canada. And not to mention they're more dependent on food banks or being evicted from their homes, which is a major problem. And this isn't a problem that individuals can tackle on. I mean, the best thing someone alone can do, I recommend you people like link this video to other Canadians, and well, the best thing you can do is like spread the word. We can't fight this alone. The only way to actually combat poverty and low income is to, well, multiple people working together, like the CCPA. They're not working, and they're a group of multiple people, not just one person. In fact, I actually had a Q&A with the CCPA. So I asked them a few questions. So I asked them, one, what actions will the public need to take if there is to be better income inequality in Canada? And well, he linked to article which was about predictions in 2011, which I discussed before, and they talk about economy, social unrest, drift, the things I talked about before. I'm gonna actually link a website in the description that was made for this project specifically. You should be able to find all the websites I talk about on that site itself. So, and next question, I'm also asked about some people suggest that Canada's poverty rate is becoming better over recent years, and asked, do you believe this is true, and if so, how much better is it compared to recent years? And well, the person, the answer linked me to a debate, which a video debate, so you can find that on the site itself too. Next question is, I've heard people say that the middle class are disappearing, and only that there will be only low class and high class left. What are your thoughts on the matter, and if you believe it is happening, how it can be stopped? And linked to an article, and then she said, and then what was said is, I think Canada's middle class is under pressure. A generation ago, you could have one income earner in your household and earn a middle class lifestyle. Today it takes 2 workers to sustain a middle-class lifestyle, and many middle-class Canadians are carrying more debt than they can really afford. That's not really the promise a middle-class lifestyle used to hold. There are a lot of studies that link strong unionization rates with a healthy middle class. The link relates to the ability to negotiate a better income with regular pay raise. Now the next question is, what actions that have already been taken in an attempt to solve poverty and income inequality have worked, and which actions have failed? And well, why have those worked or failed? And well, it's said that it's an interesting question and complicated one to answer, and try to keep it short and simple. So the actions that tend to work for poverty reduction and income inequality reduction focuses on government taking the wealth the country creates and using the tax and transfer system to redistribute it to make Canada a more equal society. Supporting programs such as affordable childcare, public housing, affordable university and colleges, great public education, universal public health care. These benefit everyone and help those at the bottom of the income spectrum to have a better chance at life. The biggest failure in the response opinion is the promise that tax cuts will create jobs and wealth would trickle down. It hasn't worked, and meanwhile it's diverted revenues we need to public service away from us, while the richest Canadians enjoyed higher income gains, bigger tax cuts, and contributed less back into the broader system. There's also a link to a paper. And finally, I asked a few questions about the CCPA. She said we started creating more popular approaches to talking about poverty and income inequality when we started our research project on the growing gap 6 years ago. We wanted to go beyond traditional research papers and find new ways to mirror the reality of equality and poverty back to Canadian society. Over the past 6 years, advances in social media has made it easier and more appealing to write a blog, create an infographic, or to make a video. We're finding new ways of telling the story of income inequality and poverty back to Canada. We hope people find it useful. And final question was, where can one go to find further information on the topic of income inequality and poverty in Canada? The links can be found in the website, which will be on the website, and there's the whole interview. And also there was also I talked about a few writers and artists who have talked about the problem. There's 2 are from the CCPA, and then there's John Richards, a professor from the Simon Fraser University, and he has a whole work about poverty, which you can find. I believe it's called Reducing Poverty, What Has Worked and What Should Come Next. So there's more information. You can visit the CCPA. There's also a works cited. It should link you to a bunch of things. So I hope you people have taken this seriously, and I hope you learned a few things about the poverty and low income issue in Canada. And you know, I hope you actually try to take a stand against this. Spread the word. Do what I'm doing, make a video on it, even if your channel is completely unrelated like mine. I mean, mine's a gaming channel, and look what I'm doing right now. I mean, think about it, there's lots of things. I mean, I did mean to kind of compare the issue to like the fictional universe of Warhammer 40k to actually relate to the video, but now in reality that's time just to relate to the actual channel itself. But still, think about it like this. It's like even in Warhammer 40k, I'm sure there's problems like this. Like you got like, I'm sure most of the jobs in the Imperium would be in like the planets that actually create the weapons. What about the Hive worlds? Where do their jobs come from? I'm sure there's lots of people living in the streets, and well, what are they gonna do? They probably have a hard time surviving. They either join the Imperial Guard, and well, you know the Imperial Guard, they kind of have like a they're probably gonna die in their first battle, or they're gonna go to crime and probably be imprisoned, or I don't think they're gonna be executed for like maybe small theft, but it's still gonna be tough on them, I'm sure. So yeah, so even in a fictional universe, it's poverty and low income is a big issue. That's a major problem. So yeah, it's the issue. I hope you people take this seriously and try to do something about it. Maybe like, oh, I don't know, spread the word. Try to go to your school, maybe take a stand and write a paper, spread the word, posters, anything. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'm sure your scheduled uploading and let's plays probably be resuming in like early February. So I guess I'll be seeing you guys then. And thank you guys for listening and good night.